Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of My Community Ally. Today we will be visiting the office of Dr. Justin and Herbert Hughes to discuss with them what they have going inside their magic walls of orthodontia. I can talk to you about how it spans generations, four in fact, of orthodontics, and how they've been in this area helping this community for almost 60 years and 3 generations. But there's a lot more going on inside of these walls. Why do people always recommend them? What is it really that they're offering? Well, we're going to join them today and find out. Because of what's going on in the world, I will not be in front of the camera because then we won't be able to stay the appropriate distance apart. So I will be behind the camera, but I will join you afterwards for my afterthought. So thank you for joining My Community Ally, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, hello and welcome, and thank you so much to the Dr. Hughes, Dr. Herbert Hughes, Dr. Justin Hughes for visiting us today. And we are going to talk about their wonderful and magic facility here at Hughes Ortho. So welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So one thing we all seem to know when we look online is that you guys go back generations, and the history of orthodontics in your family spans 4 generations, and locally it's 3. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Justin's great-grandfather practiced general dentistry in Kentucky for over 50 years. And then my father became an orthodontist, and he started a practice in Alexandria in 1958. So we've been here for over 60 years. And it was about 4 or 5 years ago that you joined the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah. And we've had a couple different locations in Alexandria. Grandpa started it out in Old Town, and then we've gradually, slowly moved south to where we're kind of parked here. Been here in the Fort Hunt area for over 20 years.
Wonderful. And Justin, how long ago did you join?
I joined about 4 years ago.
And I hear since you've joined that throughout the history, there's lots of things that go, but you've brought some new technology to the forefront and some new spaces in the building. Can you tell me about some of those?
Yeah, so right when I was joining the practice, we had the opportunity to purchase the suite next to us, which is where we are now. And we were able to expand a little bit, and we thought, okay, if we're gonna add more space, we should add a kind of a new element to what we're doing here. And we'd also at the same time notice we have a good number of adult patients. They make up maybe 25% of our practice, but we wanted them to feel like they had a space where they felt a little more comfortable and a little more private, and a space that felt more adult oriented. So we thought, let's add a couple chairs, and we're gonna make it just for adults. We call it the Adult Smile Center, and it has its own kind of private lobby and private chairs. And so we added that as a new element to our practice, and it seems people really appreciate it.
It does have a very calming, serene, spa-like feel, which for most adults is magic. And what about some new technology that you brought in lately? It sounds like you've got some new stuff.
Yeah, so we really,
You got that 3D printer?
yeah, so we bought a 3D printer. We started using it last year, and so we've been using that to eliminate the need to take those goopy molds, so we don't have to do that at all anymore. We're using that to create dental models, which we can either use to make retainers, we can make aligners, and as well during this COVID-19 thing, we're able to make custom mask fitters for all of us here in the office. And so there's an app you can use on your smartphone, take a scan of your face, and then we can send that to the 3D printer and make a custom mask fitter that you can then strap on over a mask to make sure you're getting a really good seal. So we made those for everyone in the office. We're making them for some of our dentists and pediatric dentists that we work with, and just trying to help keep people safe and utilize this technology that we have to make custom appliances.
Great, and that's wonderful. I actually saw your dad using that when he did my daughter's teeth and couldn't figure out where it came from because I had never seen it before. So that's very, very creative.
Yeah.
And so what you just mentioned is the adult section, which is what we're in. I think when most people think Hughes Ortho, they think children. I know that when I was asking around about dentists for myself, I never heard Hughes, but when I was asking about orthodontia,
Right.
But when I was asking about it for my daughter, it came up over and over again. And so I think it's really great to let people know that we do have this side that is for the adults, and it is magical because it is quiet and is serene.
Yeah.
The other side is definitely fun for the kiddos, but this side is definitely adult friendly. So in that, when I said I heard about Hughes a number of times, why do you think that you guys have this reputation that you do, and that I would say I asked 15 people about orthodontics, and I would say 10 of them said you guys. So what do you think keeps people recommending your services and keeps people coming back?
Yeah.
You know, I would say that, you know, it stems from Grandpa. You know, he really valued our community. You know, I grew up a mile and a half away, raised our children, and now Justin and his family, I mean, you live in Waynewood. So, I mean, we really cherish being a part of this community and serving them. And that's really, really rewarding. That's what I love about it, is that, just being a part of it.
Yeah, and we've got, we both love what we do, and I think that shows that we really enjoy doing orthodontics. We're passionate about it. We both lecture to other doctors about techniques or how we run things here. We've got a really great team of people who love working with us and love what we do and just building those relationships. So I think it's, that comes through in that it's not just, hey, my teeth look so straight and they're straighter than anyone else could ever make them, but it's the fact that they're getting a full experience here where everyone here is excited about what's going on and feels passionate and wants to do the best we can clinically on their teeth, but also just treating them as a whole person.
And I agree with that. I will say when you walk in, I know that you guys do magic, but the way that you treat people and the way that your staff treats people is magical. How do you make those hiring decisions?
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking for a lot of times is attitude and work ethic, more so than just a skill set, because a lot of the skills that we're using can be taught and trained, and so we're looking for people who have really good attitudes and people who have great work ethic, people who show up to work and are willing to work hard, are willing to work well with their teammates and just have a can-do attitude. We can always work with that, and we can train you how to do certain things and how to use our software and how to change a wire. But if we don't have that attitude, that's not a great starting point. So that's kind of what we're looking for when we add someone to the team.
And I would say, what we're looking for is, people that have a positive, passionate, enthusiasm. That's what I'm looking for. Good people.
Yeah.
That's what I don't care how old you are, what gender, where you're from. It doesn't make any difference. What I'm looking for is that core element. And some people will say, "Hey, your team looks like the United Nations," and it really is. I mean, we've got people from Russia, Vietnam. We've got Abdul from Pakistan, from South America, from all over the place. But that kind of reflects kind of our community. We didn't plan to do that. It just happens to be that way. And when we're looking at for new team members, another thing we've done, and it worked out well, is that I've gone over to West Potomac and talked to their dental program, their dental assisting program several times. And so what we've done is that we've opened up, and every year they will have their dental assistants come over here and shadow for like the summer. And so it helps them out, but also we get a chance to see, who's really, really good. And right now we've got Rosa, Marilyn, and Damaris, all from West Potomac High School, that are now part of our team. So it's been a really, really win-win for us as well as West Potomac.
Yeah, so you've built your community through the community in that facet. Yes. So that sounds like something to be extremely proud of for your office, just the way that you guys handle that. Yeah. So was there ever a time that this wasn't what you wanted to do, either of you? And if it wasn't, what else would you have done?
Well, for me, I would say it was probably in 10th grade when I was taking biology. That's when I decided I wanted to be a dentist, and I worked for Dad, and I said, I want to be an orthodontist. So pretty much ever since I got into college, it was that track to get into dental school and become an orthodontist. If you ask me what I would do if I wasn't doing dentistry, what I've really enjoyed in the past is doing some coaching. At the Fort Hunt Youth Athletic Association, I was coaching our boys in basketball, and I love doing that. That, and then I'd probably say recently is coaching other orthodontists. We got a chance to talk and lecture across the nation and helping other orthodontists, whether it be with their clinical techniques, administrative or marketing, but just helping others.
Or you might be a professional golfer if you could get a chance out there. I think that would probably be.
Senior.
Yeah. For me, it was, I'd always had an interest in orthodontics. I grew up working in the practice and got to see what it was like. And then, in college, I explored a couple different career options, but I really thought dentistry would be a good field, working hands-on and getting to work with patients. And then it didn't hit me until about midway through dental school when I made the connection. I really loved physics in high school. The way you have to think about physics connects really well. And I realized orthodontics is the physics of tooth movement. It's applying force to teeth, and you have to know the biology underneath it to get them to move where you want. But once I made that connection, I was like, I would really like orthodontics. So that, the way you have to think about it, I just love it, and problem solving. And yeah, if I didn't do orthodontics, I might do, my youngest brother just graduated physical therapy school, and I had a kind of a background in physical therapy as a major in undergrad, and so I might have gone that route. Just something with the human body and getting how physics affects the human body, I think is really fascinating.
Now, I remember driving you back to college in his junior year. It was after Christmas, and we were having that conversation as we were driving, and I said, Justin, have you thought about what you might do once you graduate from college? And at that point in time, you didn't know whether you were going to do some type of sports medicine or not, and then all of a sudden we're driving, and all of a sudden he goes, yeah, I'm going to apply to dental school. And I went, I said, what? Yeah, that was a moment for me, because all of a sudden I was like, what? So anyway.
So this wasn't something that you imposed on your kids as they were growing up, that you wanted them to take over?
No, but just like my dad, he gave us the opportunity to work in the business, in the orthodontic office. We would work in the lab, pouring up models. We would be chairside assisting, and just to give us exposure to it. And so I did that with my 3 boys as well too, just to give them the exposure to it, and see if this is something that they wanted to do for a career.
Wonderful. And so you guys have been in this building for how long?
We've been in this building for about 28 years. Grandpa started the practice, and he was in Old Town, Alexandria on Washington Street in the old medical building. He was there for about 13 years, and then he moved it to Route 1, the Andrus building, and we were there for about 18 years. And then you came over this way. Yes.
So I know that you have magic as part of your theme running throughout. Where did that come from?
That was more like my mistake. I was playing cards with another friend of mine, and I said, do you know any card tricks? And he said, no. And I said, well, I know one. And after that, I said, we should learn how to do some card tricks and show each other. Well, I took off on it. And I went to a store and bought a book, The Royal Road to Card Magic, and learned how to handle cards. And then I was taking the boys to birthday parties, and there was a clown doing magic tricks. I said, where do you get your magic tricks? She said, oh, I get them at Al's Magic Shop in Washington, D.C. So I went over and went and bought it. And then she said, there's a convention, and there's going to be a convention here in Baltimore. You got to go to it. And I said, what's that? It's the IBM. That's the International Brotherhood of Magicians. And so I went to that, and it was like a kid in a candy store, and one thing led to another, and I started to pick up the hobby. And as I shared that hobby with another orthodontist, Dr. Joe Krumholz, he said, do you ever do that in your practice? And I go, no, I'm just messing around with it. He said, you should do it, you'll be known as the magical orthodontist. And so that's how it kind of, gave me that push to incorporate it into the practice. And so I've done that, and it's been a lot of fun.
Do you have any magic tricks you could share with us today?
Well, you know what? I'm going to try one here.
All right.
Dreams are a lot like bubbles. They're kind of floating out there. They're hard to grab hold of. You don't even know if they're real. But if you concentrate really, really hard, and you focus in on just one, they actually can become real.
Amazing. I love it. And dreams are attainable. So you guys have brought magic in. You do magic with teeth. I think that the humans that are in this office are all magical spirits, and wonderful humans. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I think one thing is constant, and that's change. Whether that be in orthodontics, with the technology that's coming in, and I'm so thankful to have my son kind of join me, and for him to bring in new technology, new thoughts, new ideas with that 3D printer. But there's one thing that's constant, that doesn't change. And I see that as the relationship with other people and humans. And what I miss during this time, during COVID and all like that, is the interaction with the community, interaction with my neighbors. And that's what I really look forward to getting back. Mm-hmm. And so my advice or recommendation would be is to live smart, to live to not be in constant fear, but also don't be ignorant, but to live smart.
Yeah, and I think in closing, we're so thankful to be a part of this community, and to have such great relationships with all of our patients and their families. And we do miss them. We look forward to giving everyone hugs when we can, and especially when we take their braces off and that kind of thing. But it's a joy and a blessing just to be a part of the community, to see patients as they kind of grow up and mature through their lives, and even have them come back and bring their kids to us, and when they grow up. And so we just love being here and being part of this community. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay, and we're glad to be a part of it.
Well, we are very glad to have you in our community, and thank you for joining me today on My Community Ally.
Well, thank you.
Magic trick. Can I show you a magic trick right here?
Well, that's what I came for, one.
That's what she came for, okay. So I've got a silver dollar. They don't make those anymore, do they? I don't know. It's a long time since they made one of those.
You can get a
Watch this.
Morgan.
Put it right here, okay?
Okay.
I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to you. Here, hold on to it. We're going to grab it. Wait a minute, it's right there.
Very good.
Any applause? Thank you, honey.
Thanks,
All right.
Shirley.
Your younger patients will appreciate that. Summer's daughter. She called me the other day, last week. Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you getting a mask? Are you washing your hands? I said, Lily, don't go there. I'm 95 years old. I've never had the flu. I've never had pneumonia. She said, and your gums are those of 16-year-olds.
I love it. That's what I say.
I guess it was 3 years ago when she heard that, She said, and your gums are